What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Tech Productions. Today, Bancroft joining y'all once again, bringing y'all another deck profile. Not just any deck profile, but today I'm bringing Go Bros. And yeah, let's this was an interesting deck to go into. So like always, there's buttons, links, check them out. Let's get into the profile, or at least let's kind of the mindset of this deck. I like to build theme decks. I like to go with the idea of, oh, I want to utilize the entire archetype. I really didn't like the archetype, and I can see the potential of this being good. I did build an archetype build, and then I bounced to kind of this deck, then I bounced to a hand control version of this deck, and then I ultimately went back to this version of the deck, which only incorporates very early engines of this deck, which is just a really good draw deck. So let's kind of get into it with the leader itself. On the front side, you have Goten, which activate main, which is great for a turn 1 play. That way you don't have to worry about missing out on a swing to get add resources to your hand. But you look up top 5 cards of your deck, you can add up to 1 green Son Gohan, Adolescence, or a Goten card to your hand and start deck afterwards. What's fantastic about that is that I think I play like 13 cards that would fit that criteria. So it's only about a quarter of the deck that's actually searchable with this leader, which is fine. The deck could just draw a ton of cards naturally on its own. Awaken is when you have 4 or less life, or you have 2 or more energy, and you have the Family Kamehameha Emotional Deliverance in your battle area, which is the new Z extra card. You draw 2, flip over, go down to 6 life. And once you're in this state, you no longer get draws off the leaders like itself. You get draws through other ways, such as the auto, which we don't worry about in this deck. But in case you were curious, when you play a 6-drop, you could draw a card. Yeah. Okay, activate me. You play up to 1 Son Gohan, close call, or Son Goten, close call, from your hand or drop in rest mode. And then that's kind of the only thing we care about in this leader, is that activate man right there, because those 2 cards is what gets you more cards. And we're just going to skip over the activate battle, because in this particular build, I don't worry about it. So let's just kind of go away from that. We're going to start with the Z deck. That's how you quickly awaken. So for 1 and 1 Z energy, 1 natural energy, you have the Family Kamehameha Emotional Deliverance. It's Z stacks the Son Goku energy cost of 2. It does have an auto for 1 green energy. If your green card with both Son Gohan Adolescence and Son Gohan energy cost of 8 attacks, you can play up to 1 Son Gohan emotion. The Goku underneath it, you can play it to the board. It has an activate battle as well. If your battle card energy cost of 8 or your leader, both green, and with both Son Gohan Adolescence and Goten in a battle, you remove this card from the game, and then, that card gets plus 10,000 power and crit for the battle, which is pretty cool. The problem about the auto itself is that this whole engine package, I feel like, is a lot of resources. At least that's just my experience, because auto has the flex that's coming into play. For 1 green energy, when this card is played, choose 1 of your Son Gohan and SS Son Goten Emotion Deliverance card. Switch it to active mode, which is the 8-drop. So it's cool that you swing with 8-drop, you pay 1 energy here, you pay 1 energy here, you can restand both those cards. Keep in mind that I think that 8-drop costs 1 to play as well. And then secondary auto is that if SS Son Gohan, Goten Emotional Deliverance is in a battle, and you switch this card to rest mode, when an activate battle skill activates from your Family Kamehameha Emotions Deliverance, the card that's in battle gets plus 10k in triple strike for the battle. So initially you need 4 energy to pull this off on 1 turn, and if your opponent negates the 8-drop attack, well then wait till next turn, hopefully, sure. And if they don't negate, you expend 1, 2, and 3 energy to get a triple strike crit plus 20k. Yeah, so it makes the attacking a 50k triple strike crit, which isn't bad. But like I said, then you get that attack and you don't have the energy for it. It is what it is. Alright, going to the rest of the Z deck, we play 2 Broly's because it's really good. They pop cards to come in cheaper. Has an additional activate main. If you have 3 or more energy and you place 1 of your non-unique cards in your battle area, so you drop, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. And then the auto of this card is that if you have 4 or more energy, when a battle card is placed in the drop, this card gets plus 5k and double strike for the turn. So initially you pay 1/1 for it because you're using the permanent to pop a non-unique card by sending it to the drop, and then you activate the battle on this card to pop another non-unique card to give this card a 5k double strike on turn 4, and you're one of your opponent's cards. And then rounding out 1 Jiren, 1 Frieza, and Dr. Dro, because sometimes our opponents won't attack us directly, and we need to go down to 5 life so we can use another card to go down to 4 life. Jiren is a 25k double strike, get just unison removal, and it's pretty strong, and Frieza helps you by paying 2 energy, 1 Z energy, and then to double strike 15k, that could cause your opponent to lose 1 card in their hand if you attack with a card that's 2 energy cost or more. And remove a Z energy as well. Alright, let's get into the deck. So, we're going to start with the core of this deck, which is 4 of the Gohan, 4 of the Goten, and then 4 of the Frieza Healing Pod. The way this works is that when Goten or Gohan are play, you can either do 1 or 2 effects. You could draw 1 card, or you could play up to, you play the other one from your deck, and then with their skills negate, kind of like the old Trunks Vegeta package. But in this case, we're using Healing Pod, we're using the leader's other ability, so use the leader to play it from the drop, and then you're drawing 2 cards every time you do that, and that's pretty fantastic. Alright, that's it for that one. Other cards you can search the leader. I'm gonna get through it now. Super combos. The Gohan super combo where you put a card bomb your deck, draw 2. He's Gohan Adolescence. It works that way. And since I'm showing off the unisons, the super combos, I might as well just go over this one. This one is not searchable, but it is playable in this deck because the auto is that if your leader is yellow or Sun Gohan Adolescence, so it works out that way, or Piccolo. But yeah, Adolescence all that matters. And then the last searchable card in the deck with the leader's front side is the big Sun Gohan Goten Emotional Deliverance. When this card attacks, you choose one of your opponent's unisons, remove 2 markers from it. Then auto, when your green Saiyan card deals damage to your opponent, you choose 1. Either choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it, or your opponent discards 1 card from their hand. Really, you just put this on one. You play this to the board when you're about to kind of go for a bigger game, and then you just kind of hope that you can deal damage to kind of hurt them more. And then activate main for 1 energy if your leader is green. Your opponent has 3 or more energy, and you have a Z extra card in your battle area. You can play this card from your hand. Going into the rest of the deck, which is kind of just a mix of good green and what I felt like playing, and what I ended up actually liking a really lot. We got 4 Demigras because it's just a unison that will stick. Because if my opponent attacks it, I could just remove markers from it. I can move life instead of moving markers, and then that helps me go down to a good life total where I need to be. Play 4 Charismatic Villains because we want to see this card to help pop more cards my opponent's trying to play to keep their board clear. Also, depending on what I'm playing against, a lot of times I will take 2 of these out and side other cards in. Because we're playing unisons, we have Dormant. Now keep in mind, if you're playing against, I think, red, pay the 1 energy half the time, because sometimes they could just have the counter because I think the Saiyan leader maybe. But it tells your opponent this attack's going through and you get 1 more attack. Following up with more counterplays, we take 2 Focus Breakthroughs, which if your life is 4 or less, if the battle card being played has energy cost 3 or less, is placing under drop instead of being played. We do not care about the permit because we will never be able to activate that one because it requires multicolor. 2 more negates. We got the new Gohan negate. It's a counterattack if your leader is a green mono Saiyan, negate the attack. If your life is 4 or less, you may discard 1 card from your hand. If you do, your opponent can't attack for the turn unless they add 1 card from their hand to their Z energy. Very slight hand control, which is always great, making your opponent choose what to do. The auto we're not going to care about because, our leader is not Gohan Childhood. But you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying energy cost by discarding 1 green card from hand. So if you want to discard 2 cards, it works for your favor. And the last negate is Homicidal Clones. Once again, just try and get down to 4 life as soon as possible. Helps out a lot. Because we play a lot of green cards, especially the field card, we have Cooler Effortless Strike. It's just a counterplay that can be played for 1 energy on my opponent's turn. And then when this card is played, if my opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, they choose 1 card and discard it. Let's get rid of some more cards. We have 2 Cells Earth Destroying Kamehamehas because it's just really good. Plus 15k and makes your opponent, you choose 1 card in your opponent's hand and get rid of it. And because we also play a field card, we like the idea of crits. For 1 energy, we can play the Great Ape Vegeta. In most decks, this isn't a great card at all. But in this case, because we want to play Frieza's Healing Pod and it is a field card, boom, 1 energy, 15k crit. Another 1 energy, 15. I said 15. He's 19k. 1 energy, 15k crit that makes your opponent discard a card from your hand. The Kaioken Goku. I would play this at 3 if we had 3. And I would also play the new new cooler, the better cooler in this deck. 3 as well, if I had 3. It's just an overall good card. Barrier, Double Strike. When this card attacks, this is not limited. Choose one. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. Your opponent chooses one card in their hand and discards it. Activate main for 2 green energy. If your leader is green, you have 3 more energy. You could just play this card. And what's great about this thing is that the activate main, if you have a Z battle card with energy cost of 2 or more in play in your battle area, switch this card to activate. And the 3 we have are all 2 costs. So I mean Goku's 2 costs too, but don't really play them a lot. But these guys are always on the board to some degree, especially Broly, because he's so much cheaper to play. I could use the leader to play the Gohan or Goten, then pay one's the energy to play the Broly, pop the Goten or Trunks, and then boom, there's my Z battle card. Then I use Cooler to restand himself and gets another swing with another double strike, make my opponent discard another card from their hand. Again, running pesky cards on the board. We got Son Gohan, Faded Rival, 2 energy. If your opponent has 3 more energy, just place 1 Saiyan, Earthling, or Neptune card, which is always good to put your unison, your super combos back into your deck. And then it snipes a card, ignoring barrier, which is pretty cool. And we do play 1 Piccolo, which kind of like goes with it as well, if I happen to see it. It isn't needed, but it's really nice to kind of put on the board for 1 energy. So it's a 3 energy chain. But for each of Piccolo's attacks, your opponent has to discard 1 card from your hand. And then the last card to play in this deck, we do play 2 of the 8-drop Goku Gohan cards. It's just a good green card. Activate main 2 green energy. If your leader is green, your opponent has 3 more energy. Play this card from your hand. This card gains barrier for the turn. I made the mistake and forgot this card gained barrier when I went to Tennessee. It has an auto. When this card attacks, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards. Ignoring barrier, you KO it, and your opponent discards 1 card from your hand. So overall for 2 energy, it's just getting a lot of good resources, and it's kind of sticking to the board because it has deflect and it gains barrier. We don't care about the other auto because we don't have any Gokus to combo with. I know I'm by pretty quick on that one, but hey, that is my Go Bros profile. If you do want to see the maybe the hand control variant, let me know in the comments. I do plan on doing that one eventually. I just gotta kind of test it out a little bit more. But yeah, that's it. Bye.